Western Europe suffered terribly in World War I. France lost over 1.3 million soldiers, and England over 900,000. The war devastated more than 10,000 square miles of France. Following the conflict, Western European leaders were determined to avoid future large-scale wars. At the Versailles Peace Conference, the victorious Allies punished Germany for starting the war. Germany was forced to pay enormous reparations to the victors. France regained Alsace and Lorraine, and the Allied powers took control of the Rhineland, demilitarizing the region. Germany was limited to a small army and navy, and prohibited from having aircraft, heavy guns, or submarines. Throughout the 1920s, Germany was unstable and volatile. The German people suffered through social upheaval and economic collapse. No nation endured more when the Great Depression hit Europe in 1929. Many Germans blamed their problems on the harsh terms of the Versailles Treaty. In the 1920s, Adolf Hitler, a bitter, unemployed World War I veteran, rose to the leadership of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, known as the Nazis. In 1923, the Nazis attempted to seize power. The uprising failed, and Hitler was imprisoned for 9 months. However, the publicity and subsequent trial made him a national figure and a hero to many. As the Great Depression in Europe deepened, support for the Nazi Party grew. Many reacted favorably to Hitler's anti-Semitic book, Mein Kampf, and his call for the expansion of German territory. In January 1933, the Nazis won control of the German parliament. Hitler became Chancellor of Germany and set out to create a fascist dictatorship. He rejected the Versailles Treaty and began building a powerful military machine. In 1936, Germany reoccupied the Rhineland in violation of the treaty. France and Great Britain did nothing more than protest. In March 1938, German troops entered Austria and united the two German-speaking nations. Again, the Western powers did not act. At Versailles, the Allies had created Czechoslovakia from the remnants of the collapsed Austro-Hungarian Empire. The new nation included the Sudetenland with 3.5 million ethnic Germans. These Germans prospered and enjoyed full civil rights. After his successful annexation of Austria, Hitler turned his sights on Czechoslovakia. He accused the Czechs of aggression towards Germany and claimed that they terrorized and abused the Sudeten Germans. Hitler demanded that Czechoslovakia give the Sudetenland to Germany. In May 1938, when Germany seemed about to invade, Czechoslovakia mobilized its army. Russia, France, and Great Britain issued warnings to Germany, and Hitler backed down. Terrified by their apparent narrow escape from war, France and Great Britain convinced Czechoslovakia to accept mediation with Germany. British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain twice flew to Germany in September 1938 to confer with Hitler. During these negotiations, Hitler continually changed his demands. As Chamberlain departed the second time, war seemed imminent. However, Hitler's assurance that the Sudetenland was his final territorial ambition convinced Chamberlain that conflict could still be avoided. In late September, Hitler invited Chamberlain and the French Prime Minister to Munich for another conference. Czechoslovakia was not invited. Hitler repeated his earlier demands. In exchange for the immediate German occupation of the Sudetenland, Germany would not invade Czechoslovakia. Most of Czechoslovakia's border fortifications were in the Sudetenland. The Czechs would be left defenseless. Still desperate to avoid war, France and Great Britain agreed. Chamberlain informed the Czechs that they must agree immediately, or settle their affairs with the Germans on their own. Before leaving Munich, Chamberlain convinced Hitler to sign a pledge that he would solve any further disputes through negotiation. Chamberlain returned to England a hero, announcing that he had secured peace in our time. On October 1st, the British Parliament began to debate support for Chamberlain's decision. Should Parliament approve the Munich Agreement,